They're the biggest name in the video game industry, so let's see what their best offerings have been. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Nintendo games. This list was no easy challenge, as there are many Nintendo-developed games that are amazing. So, as per the usual, we're setting a limit of one game per franchise, and it has to have been published by Nintendo and developed by a minimum second-party developer. But the intellectual property must be owned and still owned by the company today, which rules out, unfortunately, games like Tetris and GoldenEye. Number 10, Star Fox 64.
I got one!
Known as Lylat Wars in Europe, Star Fox 64 was the first Nintendo game to introduce voice acting and force feedback in the form of the Rumble Pack.
What the heck is that?
Set around an elite squadron of anthropomorphic pilots in an all-out war to save the Lylat system from the mad scientist Andros, you travel across various planets, wiping out everything in your path.
I think you look better in a tank.
If you're aching to scratch that R-Wing itch, the game got a recent remaster on the 3DS.
Do a barrel roll!
Number 9, Fire Emblem Awakening. Part turn-based strategy, part RPG, this epic series has 11 titles released over its lifespan, 5 of which were released in the West.
Have another.
Nice.
However, it's the most recent entry on the 3DS that shows the series at its best, with a non-linear campaign that can last up to 80 hours on the first playthrough, and changes in the story depending on who dies, who gets married, and even who has kids. There's no better time to get into the series, feet not included.
No reaction. Was I wrong then?
Number 8, Animal Crossing New Leaf. First appearing in the West on the GameCube, the Animal Crossing series has you live in a village with cute anthropomorphic villagers and encourages you to play at least once a day. But the series hits its strength when on a handheld console, allowing players greater flexibility for the once-a-day playstyle. The most recent 3DS version takes full advantage of the system, allowing for local and online trading, among other addictive qualities. We have one editor here at WatchMojo that's logged over 300 hours in the game and is still playing. Send help. Number 7, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. Out of all the Donkey Kong games, the second in the Country series is by far the best. What makes it better than the first lies in the replay value. Notably, the bonus stages have a purpose to unlock the final world. Plus, the pirate theme, mixed with some of the best visuals and music on the SNES, work together like a symphony in motion. Also, the two Kong's unique abilities added some nice depth in the exploration and strategy departments, something that was missing in Returns, but touched on in Tropical Freeze. Number 6, Mario Kart 64. The game that made the series a household name and made it the ideal multiplayer racer choice for years to come. The N64 version is notable for having some of the best track design in the series, save for a few exploits, and became one of the N64's best-selling games, with 9 million copies sold. Hell, to this day, people are still playing this version at dorm room parties and get-togethers.
I'm Luigi, number 1.
Number 5, Metroid Prime. A close choice between this game and Super Metroid, Prime nudged ahead, but only just, as it also faithfully retained everything that made the originals great, while making it even better with the jump to 3D, adding a whole new dimension of isolation and atmosphere. It was later released on the Wii as part of the Metroid Prime Trilogy collection, a set that's very rare to find these days. Number 4, Super Smash Bros. Melee. The crossover series, as a whole, is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. While Brawl may have stretched the envelope of crossover characters, the hardcore fighting genre fan base mostly prefers Melee. Seeing over 25 characters from multiple Nintendo franchises, this intense 4-player brawler was the best-selling game on the GameCube, and made the series the juggernaut that it is today. Number 3, Pokemon Gold and Silver. Expecting Red and Blue? While those games started the phenomenal trend, Gold and Silver polished it nicely to make it the best in the series. Set in the new Johto region, while also retaining the original Kanto region from Red and Blue, with all the gyms included. And even better was the 2009 remakes in the form of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which made these great games even better. Number 2, Super Mario World. In our top 10 Mario games list, we listed Super Mario World as the best Mario game of all time, mostly because the game's vast level variety and gorgeous 16-bit graphics have aged incredibly well. And it built upon every Mario game prior, making it near flawless. If you want to see how the likes of Mario 3 and 64 fared, check out our top 10 Mario games list to see the rest. We stand by our choice though here. World is still our favorite. The hardcore Nintendo fans can probably guess what number 1 is, but before we get there, let's take a look at some honorable mentions. Number 1, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Not only is Ocarina the best Nintendo game ever made, but is also considered to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, game ever made. Well ahead of its time, Zelda set the standard for action-adventure games to come, with few barely coming close to matching its epic scale. Later versions included the Master Quest Edition, which changed up the layouts of the dungeons. Topping it all off, those who missed it the first time around can grab the 3DS remastered version, which gave the graphics and frame rate a much improved facelift. Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite Nintendo game? Heck, what's your favorite Nintendo franchise of all time?
You want a piece of me?
For more epic top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Oh, yes!